Very good morning, my dear students. I am Venkat, Assistant Professor of Zoology. Welcome to my Aniruddha tutorials. Once again, it's a very quick glance, a very fast revision of Zoology syllabus pertaining to the NEET entrance examination. In my previous classes, I explained the structural organization and also the muscle in detail. In this class, I am going to discuss about the muscle contraction, and the muscle contraction theory is the sliding filament theory. Sliding filament theory. In the sliding filament theory, the filament is sliding, not filaments. Only thin filament is sliding over the thick filament, where thick filament is always stationary. Therefore, when a thin filament is sliding to and fro, where muscle is undergoing contraction. It's all about the sliding filament in short. So before I discuss about the sliding filament theory, you have to know the meaning of the motor unit and also the motor end plate can be called as the neuromuscular junction. See this. This is the muscle. This is the muscle. Inside the muscle, many fasciculi are present. This is the fascicle or fasciculi. Each fasciculus, if I take it out, this is the fasciculus, one fascicle. One fascicle contain internally many number of the muscle fibers. This is a muscle fiber, muscle fiber, muscle fiber. These are the muscle fibers. Muscle fibers. Okay, you know that each muscle fiber contain the myofibrils. These are the myofibrils. Fiber contain the fibrils. Fibrils contain the filaments. Okay. So this is the central nervous system brain. From the brain, a motor neuron. For example, this is the cyton and this is the motor neuron. Motor neuron, a motor neuron from the central nervous system innervating to the set of the muscle fibers. This is the muscle fiber. Therefore, a motor neuron of central nervous system innervating to the set of muscle fibers is called as the motor unit. This is the motor unit. If you take one motor unit, this is one motor unit. If I take the muscle fiber, okay, each muscle fiber contain the myofibril. At this is, for example, this is the muscle fiber. One muscle fiber. And this is the area. This is the area where the synaptic bottoms are present. Now, this is the axon. This is the axon. At the terminus of the axon, there are bottoms. Are called as the synaptic bottoms. Okay, I'll show you. This is the synaptic bottom. There are the synaptic bottoms. The terminus of the synaptic bottom synaptic to the sarcolemma. This is the muscle fiber sarcolemma. And this junction is called as the motor end plate. can be called as the neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction. Therefore, at the neuromuscular junction, the chemicals are released, and these chemicals are called as the neurotransmitters. You know pretty well. And because of the neurotransmitters, sarcolemma undergoes the depolarization. So my intention is to give you the meaning of what is the meaning of the motor unit and the motor end plate. This is a motor unit, this is a motor unit. And this junction is called as the motor end plate. Therefore, in my total conclusion, one motor unit consists of, it is very important, one motor unit consists of many number of motor end plates can be called as the neuromuscular junctions. One motor unit contains the many number of the motor end plates. This is one motor end plate. That is why one motor unit consists of the many number of the motor end plates. I think you understood this. Therefore, with a fast glance, I am going to discuss about the muscle contraction theory, and that is called as the sliding filament theory. Sliding filament theory. In the sliding filament theory, the first one is the excitation of the muscle. Excitation of the muscle. What is the meaning of excitation of the muscle? This is the sarcolemma. This is the sarcolemma. But when the muscle is under resting condition, the positive ionic charge in the ECF, extracellular fluid, the negative ionic charge is in the sarcoplasm. And this condition, positive outside, negative inside, is called as the polarization. This is the situation called as the polarization. It can be called as the resting potential. Resting potential. Polarization or resting potential. And this kind of the muscle where it is staying in the resting potential, and that muscle can be stimulated by the motor neuron. This is the motor neuron of the central nervous system. A motor neuron of central nervous system stimulating the sarcolemma at the motor end plate. I explained it in the previously. Therefore, this is the synaptic bouton, many number of the boutons are present, and this is called as the motor end plate. Motor end plate can be called as the neuromuscular junction. Because of the neurotransmitters are released from the synaptic vesicles, and vesicles are releasing the chemicals are called as the neurotransmitters. Okay, I write here. These are the chemicals are called as the neurotransmitters. Because of the neurotransmitters, sarcolemma undergoes depolarization. There is a change in the membrane potential. See this, when the sodium ionic influx occurs, ultimately there is a change in the membrane potential. Negative becomes outside. Outside becomes negative. Outside becomes negative. It is the negative charge outside. Negative charge outside. And because sodium ionic influx into the sarcoplasm, therefore positive inside the sarcoplasm, a negative charge outside. This is the change in the membrane potential is called as the depolarization. Depolarization can be called as the action potential. Action potential. The same depolarization wave is entering into the T-tubule. I explained it in the previous class about the triad system. Therefore, TT will also undergoing the depolarization. Ultimately, and these are the end cisternae. I told you that end cisternae are the reservoirs of the calcium ions. Therefore, when the motor neuron of the central nervous system stimulating the sarcolemma undergoes depolarization, and the depolarization wave is entering into the triad system. Ultimately, the calcium ions which are present in the terminal cisternae are released out into the sarcoplasm. And this is the meaning of the excitation of the muscle, the first step in the muscle contraction. Therefore, second one is called as the cross bridge cycles. Second one, the cross bridge cycles. Cycles means these cycles or these are events which are repeated many intervals. That is why called as the cross bridge cycles. In the cross bridge cycles, okay, I take it. I want to explain it with the help of the diagram. What is the meaning of the cross bridge cycle and also the muscle contraction? The various events in the muscle contraction. See this. When the calcium ions are released into the sarcoplasm at the end of the excitation of the muscle, and the calcium ions are reacting with the troponin C of the troponin, forming the calcium troponin C complex. This is one. Because of the calcium troponin C complexes, leads to the troponin and tropomyosin unmask the active sites of actin. Unmask the active sites of the actin. Therefore, what is the meaning of unmasking? Opening of the active sites of actin, because the troponin tropomyosin complexes are lifted up because of the calcium troponin C complexes. And when the active sites are opened or unmasked, leads to the cross bridge cycle. What is that cross bridge cycle? See this diagram. See, this is the diagram. This is the thick filament. I told you that one thick filament contains many number of the myosins, and the myosin is the polymer where the monomers are called as the meromyosins. Okay, this is the myosin tail, neck, and this is the head of the myosin. This is the head of the myosin. In my previous class, I explained that head of the myosin contains two binding sites. Binding sites are pertaining to the head of the myosin. Active sites are pertaining to the thin filament, F-actin. And this is the binding site with the F-actin. And this is the binding site of ATP. Before I discuss about the cross bridge cycle of the muscle contraction, I do want to tell you one thing. When there is no ATP in the myosin head, the bond is strong. The bond is strong between the actin and the myosin. When there is ATP, when ATP is present, the bond is weak. The bond is weak. This is very important to remember. When there is no ATP, bond is strong. When there is ATP, bond is weak. Therefore, in the cross bridge cycle, because of the ATP hydrolysis, what is the reason for the cross bridge cycle? ATP hydrolysis in the presence of water, and there is an enzyme is called as the ATPase enzyme. and ATP is hydrolyzed into ADP and also inorganic phosphate. ADP and inorganic phosphate. See this? This is the inorganic phosphate 1, and there is a molecule of ADP because of the ATP hydrolysis. When there is no ATP, because that is hydrolyzed into the inorganic phosphate and the ADP. I mean there is no ATP. When there is no ATP, bond is strong. See this. What is that? What is that? Bond is strong. This is the thin filament, and the thin filament contain the F actin. This is the F actin, one F actin, and this is the another F actin. Ultimately, the bond is strong between the actin and myosin because of the cross bridge. This is the meaning of cross bridge formation. Cross bridge formation. For the formation of the cross bridge, it needs energy to bind. See this. This is the active site of the actin, already exposed because of the calcium troponin complexes are formed in the thin filament, and the myosin head is been fixing into the binding into the active site. For this orientation, for this movement of the head of the myosin, it needs energy, and that energy is provided by the hydrolysis of the ATP. Therefore, you see this, after the hydrolysis of the ATP, still in the head of the myosin there is inorganic phosphate and the ADP molecule, but this is the cross bridge formation. After the cross bridge formation, next one is the sliding or rotation. Sliding or rotation. What is the meaning of sliding? There are two contrast meanings. One is the sliding, or second one is the rotation. What is that? See this again. Okay, this is the thick filament. This is the thick filament, neck and the tail and the neck. Rotation means the head of the myosin is rotating towards the H zone. This is the H zone, towards H zone, head of the myosin rotates like this. The swinging of the head of the myosin towards the H zone. Ultimately, the thin filaments which are attached to the head of the myosin also sliding towards, they are entering into the H zone. This is the rotation, where head is rotating like this, and the thin filament is now entering into the H zone. Thin filament enters into the H zone now, gradually. And after, in the sliding, where the thin filament is sliding over the thick filament, rotation means head of the myosin is rotating towards the H zone. After that you can see in the diagram, in the sliding or rotation, the phosphate inorganic is released along with the ADP also released out. In the sliding or rotation, the inorganic phosphate and the ADP are released out from the head of the myosin. During the sliding or rotation, it can be called as, the sliding or rotation can be called as the power stroke. Power stroke. What are the events which are occurring during the power stroke? I write here because to make you very sure. During the power stroke, what are the events which are happening? 1. Thin filaments slides over the thick filament. When the thin filaments are sliding over the thick filament, the thin filaments, as they are attaching to the Z line, for example, it's a zigzag, zebra, Z line, it's an elastic line. When the thin filaments are attaching to the Z line, if the thin filaments are sliding, Z line also sliding, Z line also coming to here. Therefore, during the power stroke, the two Z lines, the two respective Z lines comes near. One more. When the two Z lines are coming near, the length of the sarcomere is decreasing. The length of the sarcomere is decreasing when the two Z lines are coming near, and one more important. The I band is shortening. The length of the I band is been decreasing, but in a powerful power stroke, I band may be totally decreasing to totally disappearing. Not only I band is shortening, and one more important point is the H zone also shorten, or H zone is decreasing, or in a powerful power stroke, the H zone may disappear. H zone may disappear. These are the changes. What are changing? The thin filament slides over the thick filament. The two Z lines comes near. When the two Z lines are coming near, length of the sarcomere is decreasing, and also the length of the I band is decreasing. In a powerful power stroke, I band may be decreasing and disappearing, and H zone also decreasing, may be disappearing. But what are retained without any change here? What are retained? There is no change in the length of thin filament and the thick filaments. There is no change in the length of the thin and the thick filaments. One. And one more is, there is no change in the length of A band. But remember that even though there is no change in the length of the A band, but there is a structural change in the A band. What is changing? The structure or the structural change in the A band is H zone is disappearing. H zone is decreasing or disappearing. This is the structural change. H zone decreases or disappears. It is all about the sliding or rotation or power stroke. Very important. I should repeat it once again. During the sliding or rotation or the power stroke, the thin filaments are sliding over the thick filament. As these thin filaments are binding to the Z lines are also moving together towards each other. When the two Z lines are coming near, length of the sarcomere is decreasing. In such a way, the length of the I band also decreasing. When the thin filaments are gradually entering into the H zone is decreasing, or in a powerful power stroke, H zone is being disappearing. But remember, there is no change in the thin filament, there is no change in the thick filament. There is no change in the length of the A band. A band length is retained. But there is one structural change in the A band is when the thin filaments are entering into the H zone is decreasing or disappearing. This is the one and only change which occurs in the A band. And this is all about the sliding, rotation or power stroke. Next one binding of a new ATP. This is the thick filament. When a new ATP binds, this is the binding of a new ATP. Binds to the head of the myosin. I told you in the beginning of this class itself, when there is an ATP molecule, bond is weaker. Therefore, when the ATP is present to the head of the myosin, when the ATP is present to the head of the myosin and these are separating, this is the thin filament. F actin is separated. After that, okay, this is called as the recovery stroke. The reason for the recovery stroke is binding of a new ATP. It should be remembered. The reason for the recovery stroke is binding of the new ATP. When the ATP is binding to the head of the myosin, the bond is weaker, they are separated. After that, one more hydrolysis of ATP. Hydrolysis of ATP in the presence of the ATPase enzyme. See this, the thick filament. When hydrolysis occurs, this is the inorganic phosphate and the ADP, and this is the thin filament binding together. When the bond is stronger, after that a new cross bridge is formed. So in the muscle contraction, that is called the cross bridge cycles after the excitation of the muscle. In the cross bridge cycle, formation of the cross bridge with the help of the energy which is released because of the ATP hydrolysis. When the ATP hydrolyzed ADP and the inorganic phosphate, for the last phosphate group has the chemical bond energy. With the help of that energy, head of the myosin is been binding to the active site of the actin. This is called the cross bridge. After the cross bridge, this is the rotation or sliding or the power stroke. Next one is a recovery stroke and one more hydrolysis. This cycle is repeated for several times, called as the muscle contraction. And last one is the muscle relaxation. What is the reason for the relaxation of the muscle? What is the reason for the muscle relaxation? The reason is when the nerve stops stimulating the sarcolemma. Last event is the relaxation of the muscle. It is very important. Relaxation of muscle. And this is the sarcolemma. When nerve is stopping the stimulation, when there is no neurotransmitter released at the neuromuscular junction, ultimately the sarcolemma is repolarized. This is the repolarization of sarcolemma. When the sarcolemma is repolarized, T-tubule also repolarized. T-tubule also repolarized and the terminal cistern also repolarized. Because of that repolarization, the calcium ions which are already bound to the calcium troponin C complexes with the troponin C of the troponin, and the calcium ions they go back to the terminal cistern. When there are no calcium ions to the thin filament, I mean to the troponin C complex, the troponin tropomyocytes are again they are masking the active sites of the actin. When the actin active sites are masked or closed, there is no binding source for the head of the myosin, and this is called as the muscle relaxation. Here the point has to be remembered very must is at the muscle relaxation the two Z lines are coming to normal. When the two Z lines are coming to normal, when the two Z lines are normal, I band is normal and the sarcomere is normal, H zone is normal, everything becomes normalcy because of the relaxation of the muscle. When the muscle relaxation occurs, the two Z lines comes to normal. It is very important point. This is all about the muscle contraction. So that I want to show you in a one more diagram which is represented in the NCERT textbook. It is as follows. This is one Z line and this is one more alternative Z line. And this is another Z line, Dobbe's line, crosses membrane, Z line, elastic line. Okay, this is a thin filament, a thin filament, again a thin filament, one more thin filament, thin filament. As I told you in my previous class, the thin filaments are not only present in the entire I band and also a part of the A band excluding the H zone. This is the H zone now. H zone. This is the H zone. And one more. This is a thin filament. Again, thin filament. Thin filament. Thin filament. This is the H zone. H zone. You see this? And these are the myosins. These are the myosins. Heads of the myosin. Heads of the myosin. Again. Myosin. This is when the muscle is under resting condition. During the muscle contraction, the two Z lines are coming near. When the Z lines are coming near, see this. This is the near ends of the Z line. Okay. When the two Z lines are coming near, obviously the thin filaments are also coming near. This is the thin filament. You can see now the H zone is decreasing rather than the first diagram. H zone is decreasing. This is one more. When the H zone is decreasing and also I band is decreasing, sarcomere length is decreasing, but in a powerful stroke, in a severe muscle contraction, in more muscle contraction, a stronger muscle contraction, still the Z lines are coming near. More sarcomere length is decreasing. Therefore, you can see this is the I band. Thin filaments are entering into the H zone. Therefore, H zone is disappearing. H zone is disappearing now in a powerful muscle contraction. This is the thick filament, thick filament, thick filament. But after that, when the muscle is undergoing relaxation, Z lines are coming normal. It's all about the diagrammatic representation of the muscle contraction. I think you understood my lesson. Thank you for listening to my class. Thank you.